Welcome to ArtSwarm Episode 5. ArtSwarm is a programme made up entirely of experimental art videos and pieces of music that people send in each week. Well, even though it's a fortnightly programme, I say each week all the time. This week's theme is crime and punishment. And we're going to begin... Actually, we've got a packed show. Actually, I might as well explain a bit of the outline of the whole show because we've got a special guest, David Jewkes, who is here in the room right now. He's just over there. We'll be talking to him later about his exhibition at Nantucket Museum and various other things. We've also got some Hungarian vampire arts news coming up later on, which is a big, fancy, enjoyable bit of the programme I'm sure you will like. But we're going to begin with... and sort of animation, a cautionary tale. It's an animation made in stills with short sections of video that connects together. And it reminded me, curiously, of Ingmar Bergman and two of his films, Autumn Sonata and particularly Wild Strawberries, because it begins with the character addressing the audience, breaking the fourth wall and being confessional, which is what this piece is all about. It's entitled Plastic Penitentiary.
My name is Clive. I have been found guilty of a crime against my fellow man. A crime of apathy. I have been found cold and uncaring. I ignored those around me when they required comfort. I took what I wanted for myself and abandoned those in need. I paid no attention to their feelings. And now I have been sentenced. Not to a mere physical prison, surrounded by others who showed no remorse for their trespasses. Mine is a very different sentence. My name is Clive. I am now made of plastic. My life is a challenge now. Many of my former pleasures are now out of my reach. I am unable to carry out many simple tasks that I once did without thinking. I am wholly dependent on others now. Even my relationship with the cat is now very different. I do not know how long my sentence will be. Perhaps I will wake up tomorrow in my old body, and all this will seem nothing more than a strange and wondrous dream. But it isn't so bad. I am free of many of the ills of human existence. I feel no hunger. The cold does not bother me. And I can no longer go to work, nor am I expected to. It has given me plenty of time to catch up on my reading. Time, too, to reflect upon my actions. Perhaps that was the purpose of my strange incarceration. For now, all I can do is serve out my sentence. Perhaps one day my punishment will end, and I shall make amends. Until then, I must remain as inanimate plastic. My name is Clive. I have been found guilty of a crime against my fellow man. A crime of apathy. Do not make the same mistakes I have made.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that our first video in our Crime and Punishment ArtSwarm this week. Our next piece is a poem entitled A Broadside on the Death of Timothy Evans. Now, Timothy Evans was a man who was unjustly hanged in the 1960s for a murder in 10 Rillington Place, which made a famous film because a serial killer known as John Christie actually committed the murder. And this is all about his life and his appeal. It's by regular poet Ian Parr. I hope you enjoy this.
To my way of thinking, this poem, A Broadside I've called it, represents one of the most serious failures of the justice system in this country. And whilst it concerns a murder that took place in 1950, the events in it didn't reach a conclusion until 1966, when the man who'd been hung for that murder, allegedly, was finally granted a pardon. The news that I bring is the triumph of justice in the battle against evil and blood and misdeed. Now Timothy Evans, the subject of justice, has won his appeal and at last has been freed. His baby and wife have both gone and are buried, slain by a rope and knotted and tied. Now Timothy Evans is free, and we wonder who were the victims who should not have died. I'll tell you a tale of Christie, a killer, who killed with a rope and died in a noose. I'll tell you a tale of an English court's justice that hanged the wrong man and then let him loose. The year 1950 was a year without grace. Evans found guilty and duly was hung. But Christie, a witness, was sent down for trial, and still the courts would not admit they were wrong. Now, 16 years later, a report has been published bringing an end to a sad tragedy. Timothy Evans should not have been punished. Now he is pardoned and at last is set free. It's very easy to resurrect the dead, I suppose. This poem was written not long after the announcement that he had been pardoned.
Hello, and on this week's Big Talk, which is the name of our new feature, I've got artist David Jewkes. Hello, David.
Hiya.
Well, I asked you here because you have an exhibition at Nantwich Museum, which we'll talk about in a moment. Well, let's talk about where you came from as an artist. What sort of art do you create first?
Well, it's I don't like to sort of pin it down, but it's probably in the range of sort of figurative expressionism, really. Yeah.
So it's sort of it is mostly paintings of, of various sorts
on canvas, so quite traditional in that sense.
And how did you begin as an artist? How did you get into it?
Yeah, I'd always drawn as a schoolboy, and bits of painting. It's the only thing I really excelled at school. But left school with not many qualifications. Went away, joined the Air Force. Went round the world a bit, got involved in the Falklands conflict and decided, hang on, what do I want to do? And sort of then went back to art school and went through the whole process of that.
And you've been an artist ever since?
Yes.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So let's talk a bit about your exhibition in Nantwich. You said it took you 2 years of waiting to
Like you know, it's quite a process that you apply, and they sort of put it through different exams and stuff, and test your application, and then it's come at a good time because there's a lot of different work in the show, from some of the older carousel paintings to some of the bigger new flower paintings.
So it's a complete retrospective of your life as an artist.
Yes, but I've tried not to put too many paintings in because I wanted to have plenty of breathing spaces, because it's nice to have that luxury of space.
Yeah, that's true. It's a nice big venue. And it's entitled A Life in Colour, so colour is obviously an important part of your life.
Definitely.
As viewers will be able to see from
Yes.
this example painting behind, how incredibly bright and vivid it is.
Yeah, I don't shy away from using bright colours, even right from the start of, like when I started this painting, this was from one of the Sky Arts landscape artist paintings. I used a really vivid yellow that you can still see coming through here.
Yeah.
And then, just played around with a lot of mark making and basically just enjoyed the painting.
So what does colour mean to you? Why is it so special?
Well, we're inundated in nature with all sorts of colour, and we should rejoice in that and sort of, and it transcends so much of personality and feelings. I mean, people dress in all different colours. Everyone's got favourite different colours, so it's just nice to celebrate them all in artwork.
So does that mean you like the Impressionists? There are any particular painters that inspired you historically, or?
I'm probably quite a big fan on Van Gogh, not only because of how he was sort of shunned in his lifetime, to the fact that he really did just go for it.
Yeah,
in a short amount of period of time to create that much artwork, really.
Yeah, I think all artists are fans of Van Gogh.
Yeah.
It's just such an amazing and romantic story, and also
definitely
a rags to riches story.
Yeah.
Even though he didn't experience the riches until sadly after he died.
No.
That in itself is inspirational. It means there's always hope.
Yeah.
Oh well, thank you very much for joining me. So when does your exhibition run?
It's on now, and it runs till the 18th of July. So.
And that's free to enter. So if anyone's near Nantwich, you can just pop in and then
soak up the colour.
See the colour.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye. And now we present a piece from a new contributor, John Salmon. He's created a small animation entitled Prison Daydream, which is all about escapism, which takes us beyond the bars and into a calm area. He's made a beautiful bubbling array of colours and also a gentle tune which evokes escapism and evokes escaping into the mind and out of the mind and into a whole new domain. Hello, and I hope you're enjoying ArtSwarm so far. Now, my contribution for the week is entitled Repentance, and it's a cautionary tale, well, a silly little tale of murder and love by a small clockwork rabbit, which I've named Bun Bun, incidentally. There's not much more to say than that. I hope you enjoy it.
The next exhibitions at Castle Park Arts Centre will be held from the 15th of May until the 24th of June. Force of Nature is an art exhibition by Cheshire artist Sarah Morley. Sarah's work is inspired by nature, its timeless beauty and drama. Sarah paints in an expressive semi-abstract style. Colour, texture and energy are all equally important. We also have Drawn from the Weaver, a fascinating exhibition by Pamela Field, Pauline Lever and Celia Rowlands. The exhibition is a visual exploration of the River Weaver, from its source to the entry into the Manchester Sheep Canal. Miriam El Lamy presents an exhibition called Journey of a Diaspora, which is a visual documentation of the existing diaspora and its challenges. The Link Gallery has an exhibition by Frodsham and District History Society featuring posters showing the development of shops and services in the heart of Frodsham over 150 years. There will be an open evening held on Friday the 18th of May, 7 to 9 p.m. Everyone is welcome. Gallery opening times are Monday to Saturday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Sunday, 1 p.m. to 3:45 p.m.
And thank you, Vlak, for your news. Next up, Stephen Pennell has a poem entitled Dare to Speak, which is a speech all about free speech. I hope you enjoy this.
Don't speak to me of freedom's loss, free speech, that treasured jewel. Lives cut short, the human cost, how governments they misrule. It's not a crime to have your say, to speak about the truth. Your silence is too high a price to pay. Make sure you use that polling booth. Mandela spent many years on a devil's isle, and women died to gain the right to vote. Many soldiers fell in wars, defending your lifestyle. Don't make freedom of speech your scapegoat. No one ever died from listening to the spoken word, but many defending the right to speak. To deny the right would be absurd. Never punish those that dare to speak.
And finally, in our crime and punishment section, we present The Lone Wolf, which is another piece by Andrew Williams. It actually stars Lon Chaney, the silent film star, and because largely the video is a silent film from about 1918, about 100 years ago or so. But Andrew Williams has created a contemporary soundtrack to go with it, which is most exciting and interesting. And really, the two go so well together that you'd never guess that the two were actually developed independently. But apparently they were. And, well, enjoy this. And that's it for the Crime and Punishment show of ArtSwarm. Thanks to my guest, David Jewkes, for joining me. And thanks to Vlack the Strings for reading the news. If you'd like to create something for ArtSwarm, then, well, you're welcome to do so. The key thing about this programme is that it's made up entirely from things that people have made and sent in. Anything will do. Next week's theme is cheese. My name's Mark Sheeky, and you can stay in touch with the programme, keeping track with it by following us on Twitter at ArtSwarmTV, or you can search my website marksheeky.com for the ArtSwarm page, which has details of how to send in your things. Well, I'll see you in a fortnight for our cheese-related programme. We must think carefully about what to include in that one. It will be lots of fun. Okay, I'll end it there.